Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. It's time to look ahead at the early lines for Week 7 of the NFL. We still got 2 Monday night games ahead of us, but that's not going to stop us from looking ahead. Week 6 was a mixed bag for sure. I was kind of like 500 in the betting space, like meh, whatever. It's kind of a week where you just kind of walk away, missed a couple of things, missed Ash and Jetty by half a yard. I'm pissed about that, but it's a marathon. Andrew Erickson, my co-host, not a sprint, because I told everybody last week here on the shows, it's time to start betting Baker Mayfield for MVP. It was plus 950 last week when we had that conversation. Do you know what it is this morning, Andrew Erickson, as we wake up on a gorgeous Monday?
It's not gorgeous here. It's going to be raining all week here in New England.
It's raining like cats and dogs outside in New Jersey right now, but it's gorgeous. You know why? Because you know what that number is
plus,
today?
I want to guess. Plus 550.
Lower, Bob.
Lower. Plus 350?
Yes, plus 350. You nailed it. That's right. What a difference. A big W. So I lost my upset special of the week, which I knew. I said it on the show.
Yes, exactly. You did. You said this was kind of a hedge. So.
I'm willing to lose the battle to win the war. And you know what else I did? I also bet on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the NFC, because I think they're the best team in the NFC. And eventually they will get Evans back, and eventually they will get Egbuka healthy. And I don't know, man. Sometimes things just feel like the team of destiny. And I'm looking around the NFC, and it ain't the Eagles. I can tell you that much. I don't know if it's the Lions after last night, and I certainly don't know if it's the Rams or the 49ers with the way those teams are going. So we're going to talk about all these teams in just a second. Subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments below. Andrew Erickson, let's kick things off here. Thursday Night Football, Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. Joe Flacco did a really good job. You know, Joe Flacco having to come in on a Monday for work with a new team, going to Green Bay. He made the most of that situation. Now he gets the Pittsburgh Steelers here this week. And if he impresses the Steelers, who knows? This is like the audition for the last AFC North team he can play for. So who knows how this goes? This is very important for Joe Flacco. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, they dominated the Browns, no matter how you look at it. They're 5.5-point favorites on the road. Cincinnati plus 6 is the number you're getting. 41.5 for the over, 43.5 for the under, plus 235 for the Bengals on the money line. So can the Bengals keep this one tight, Andrew Erickson?
I think I like the Bengals here. I think it's a lot of
points for
a divisional matchup. Joe Flacco, I mean, the first half was abysmal. He looked like a 40-year-old quarterback that got signed by the team on Monday. But to his credit, he did get things going in the second half, especially just feeding Jamar Chase. Like that's how you recipe for success for the Bengals offense. So he knows he's played the Steelers before. Like this isn't a matchup that he's never seen. He's seen these guys playing in, so I think that the Bengals here at home with 6 points that you can get, I think that's probably the best route to approach here.
And at home, and we learned this lesson last week, or some of us the hard way, not so much me, because I was on the Giants last week to cover that number, and the Giants and Eagles, everybody's just like, well, the Eagles are going to go in there and romp, and they did not. Now, a little different circumstances here. You know, the Giants have Cam Scatterbo and a weird home field advantage now because that crowd's just going bananas, but I'm with you. I like the 6 here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Still think Pittsburgh wins outright, but I think the Bengals can keep it close. Let's talk about international game, which is going to have implications here long-term because the Los Angeles Rams are going to be without Puka Nacua most likely. He's got an ankle sprain, so he ain't traveling. He ain't playing. The Rams are minus 2.5 on this one. Jacksonville plus 3. You're getting even money on that plus 3, just letting you know. 45.5 is the number, 46.5 for the under. And then plus 145 for Jacksonville on the money line, which we always talk about this, Andrew. Jacksonville in England is actually typically, it's like a home field advantage. They're so used to being out there. They're kind of like the default team. Do you like Jacksonville straight up here on the money line to come out with a victory?
Not really, no. I think that these lines are pretty sharp the way that they are right here. Do I want to bet on the Rams without Puka Nacua? Not really. Do I want to bet on Trevor Lawrence? Yes, it is a pseudo home game for the Jaguars, but Liam Cohen's never been the Jaguars coach when they've been, in Jacksonville playing in all these London home games. So is Trevor Lawrence really like, oh, well, I'm in London, so I'm going to play great today? Like, I don't necessarily think that's the case. I mean, the Jaguars' errors and issues go beyond where they're playing. So I think this is probably a shy way for me. I think from a value standpoint, you're probably right that Jacksonville on the money line is probably the best way to go for the most bang for your buck. But I'm not confident that they actually go and win this game against the Rams, who the Rams are a really good team on the road. They show up in a lot of big spots, even when they're favorites. So even as a road game overseas, I wouldn't count the Rams out even without Puka Nacua.
I wonder what quarterback has actually played the most games in London.
It's got to be.
I wonder if it is Trevor Lawrence, right?
Has to be. I mean, they play every year, so.
Yeah, that's a fun stat. I got to go find that out. In the meantime, let's talk about our New England Patriots. Boy, oh boy, that Drake May sure does look good at football. Let me tell you something. Fun stat, too, that I heard this weekend. So, age of 23 or younger quarterbacks to have 3 straight games of 200 yards passing and an over 100 passer rating. Those 3 names, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Dan Marino, and now there's a 4th. It's Drake May. So, he's got a good matchup here coming up against the Tennessee Titans. We all know the Titans obviously have their troubles. They are 1-5. New England is 4-2 right now. They are 6.5-point road favorites here. So New England's starting to really get some love here from Vegas. I don't know if that's a trap for you at all. Tennessee +7, 41.5 for the over, 42.5 is the under, +265 on the money line. Here's the question here. Are we at a point with the Patriots where we feel confident they can go on the road and cover 6.5? Not win, but cover this big of a number. It's a touchdown favorite number. It's the first time in a long time I feel like the Patriots have been road favorites by a touchdown. So where are you at with this one? Is this a little bit trappy here, or do you think winning is becoming infectious with this team and they are going to continue to just open that can and get better and better every week?
Definitely feels trappy, but to be honest, you're never running into a trap when Brian Callahan is the head coach that you're going up against. So again, I talk about this every week. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Bet against the Titans. I was laying the points with the Raiders last week, the team that nobody wanted to bet on, and they took care of business against the Titans because everybody does. It takes an Arizona Cardinals like debacle and collapse for the Titans to win games in 2025. So you have the Mike Vrabel revenge factor going on here, going back to Tennessee. I think they kill the Tennessee Titans, lay the dagger in. So give me the Patriots laying almost a touchdown on the road. I don't care. Heads, knees, and shoulders better than the Tennessee Titans, and I don't think Vrabel lets up. Like, the Titans were like, yeah, we don't want you anymore, and we're going to hire Callahan, and he's been one of the worst head coaches since he was hired. So give me the Titans. Or excuse me, the Patriots.
All right, before we get to the next game on our board for Week 7 in the NFL, we want to shout out our sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. Week 6 is going to wrap up tonight with a doubleheader. Buffalo Bills versus the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears against the Washington Commanders. So listen to these streaks from Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub, which you can find live odds on and bet them. All these streaks on Hard Rock Bet. DeAndre Swift has scored a touchdown in 5 straight games against Washington. Bijan Robinson has reached pay dirt in 5 consecutive home games. I've already bet him, so he can really, a big night from Bijan would kind of save my Week 6 a little bit, put me in the positive instead of at the 50-50 margin. And Roma Dunze, by the way, is a 4-game touchdown streak. So all these are really fun, but they're more fun when you have some action in on them as well. And if you place your first $5 bet over at Hard Rock Bet, you get $150 in bonus bets if you win, and you get your winnings. Not only that, and $150 in bonus bets, but you also get fun stuff like the Monday Night Parlay Boost available for the games tonight. And there's new promos every day, so boost your same game parlay or SGP Max, so your bet pays extra winnings. But you can only find this over at Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. Download today, make your first deposit, and enjoy Hard Rock Bet. Next up here, the New Orleans Saints, the 1 win here. They lost to the New England Patriots this week versus the Chicago Bears. We'll see how they come out from Monday night. Right now, the early line is -5.5 for the Bears, +5.5 for New Orleans. The best over 45 flat, the best under 45.5. And then you're getting +215 for the New Orleans Saints on the money line. Interesting return. I kind of wish it was a little higher. If it was 3-1, I might be interested in this one. But this one really doesn't have a lot of early value to me. I feel like this is kind of right. What do you think, Andrew?
I think I'll ride away for this game because if the Bears don't beat the Commanders on Monday night, I think that you're going to see more money come in on the Saints side of things.
Shrinkage, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with just waiting on this one. Because I do like the Bears in this spot overall, but I think that you might get a better number if you wait a little bit.
All right, we're waiting for a firing eventually in Miami to happen, but maybe not today. We'll see. Miami Dolphins will travel to Cleveland, the battle of the 1-5s. I wish, you know what? These are the kind of games they should put on primetime. I want them to flex Sunday Night Football for this game. I want to watch all the ineptitude on the main stage. The Cleveland Browns are 1.5-point favorites in this one. Miami +2.5, 40.5 is the over, 41.5 the under, +126 on the money line for the Dolphins, which I don't hate, I'll be honest with you, because that Tua press conference was unfortunate. It was revealing, but then again, not revealing. We all kind of know it's a complete dumpster fire over there in Miami right now. And I don't know if that kind of moment rallies everybody together or pulls everybody further apart. But regardless here, it's an interesting spot where I feel like the Miami Dolphins have certainly more talent on offense, but they can't stop anybody on defense. You have the Cleveland Browns with a young quarterback who just got it taken to him by the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, so I'm sure the confidence is shook a little bit. But this is a winnable game here for both teams. So how do you approach it from a value standpoint in betting?
I think that the Browns are going to kill the Miami Dolphins. I think that this is
really
the
okay.
End. This is the end of the Mike McDaniel era. Like, I could see Tua getting benched in this game. Like, that's how concerned I am about
Why
Miami.
is this one the end?
Just because the Cleveland Browns defense plays like a top 5 unit when they're at home. What do they do against the Green Bay Packers? Couldn't do anything offensively. What do they do in so the last 2 weeks, actually I think the last 3 games, the Browns have been on the road. Like this last week against the Steelers, we talked about it on the Best Bet show. This was a terrible spot for Gabriel making his first start on the road against a rested Steelers defense when they had played in London the week before. Like that was a terrible spot for the Browns. Now they're playing at home against a vulnerable Dolphins team. Dylan Gabriel is a favorite. After getting smoked by the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, the market is telling you, yes, the Dolphins are terrible. They don't win against good defenses. They don't win on the road. Again, the only reason it's -1.5 is because it's the Cleveland Browns and his rookie quarterback. But I think when we watch this game play out, oh yeah, there was no chance that Miami didn't stand a chance of going up to Cleveland and actually scoring against this defense. So offensively, I think they're going to struggle immensely. Judkins in an immense bounce back spot against a terrible Miami Dolphins defense. I think Cleveland just steamrolls the Miami Dolphins, takes it to them, and I think the press conference vibes are going to be even worse for Miami after this game.
Speaking of steamrolling, how about your Carolina Panthers get another victory? How about that? They're 3-3, and they get the New York Jets this week, still winless. Oh my God, the Jets were just 11 points. It was so bad. I'm so grateful that I'm not a Jets fan. I just really am. I'm sorry, Jet fans. It sucks. Like you have every right as a Jet fan to just not be a Jet fan anymore. Just walk away. Walk away. People walk away from bad marriages all the time. You've been loyal your whole life. You don't have to keep doing this to yourself. The Jets are 1-point favorites in this game. I don't understand. I don't get this. I don't get this at all. +1.5. This isn't a close your eyes special. It's just close your eyes. 43.5 for the over, 45.5 for the under. +101 on the money line for the Carolina Panthers. -102 for the New York Jets. So look, I know it was just miserable for them in London. I know the defense of the Denver Broncos is very good. I know the defense of the Carolina Panthers is not. So especially with the way they give up yardage for running the football, the Jets could certainly find a way to be competitive in this game. I kind of get this, but at the same time, I don't think they should be favored in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I get why they're favorites. It's because they're at home. And you look at the Carolina Panthers, when they play at home, they're like these big, fierce cats, and they just take it to the other team. But they play on the road, they look like a completely different team. They play terrible. So I don't want to pick sides here. I think that this is just one where it is the best value. Like, where can I get the most bang for my buck when it comes to, well, right now it looks like Carolina on the money line is the biggest payout. So that's probably the side I would land on because I think this could go in either way, either direction. I might have a bigger lean if I look more into the trends, but right now I don't like backing Carolina on the road. And obviously, like you alluded to at the top, you don't really feel good about backing the Jets in any capacity right now.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference though. I mean, it's +101 versus -115 for the +1.5. I almost want to just give myself the out of something crazy happening and just taking the points with Carolina and just see how it goes. Philadelphia Eagles, they're licking their wounds, 2 straight losses. They're going to take on the Minnesota Vikings fresh off their bye. This one's in Minnesota. Minnesota underdogs +2.5. Philadelphia -2.5, the favorite in this one. Over is 41.5. The under is 43. -139 for the Eagles on the money line. +130 for the Minnesota Vikings. So Andrew Erickson, which of these teams gets back on track this week?
Do we know who the quarterback is for the Minnesota Vikings?
I assume it's Carson Wentz still, as of recording this on Monday morning. I haven't heard anything to the contrary yet, so we'll see if that changes, but let's talk about it. If it's J.J. McCarthy, do you like the Eagles more?
I think so. I don't think we saw anything from J.J. McCarthy that should give us encouragement that we should be taking him here, even an underdog at home. I think is the best bet just on the under. Just bet against the Eagles, figuring out what they're doing offensively, and bet against the Minnesota Vikings with either Carson Wentz or an inexperienced quarterback back under center. We know that Brian Flores at home is always a great defense to go against. So I think for me, this lean is probably just towards the under at 43.5. I think there's some decent value there just betting the under in this game.
I don't think that's a bad look. I really don't. I understand where you're coming from with that one, but man, this Philadelphia Eagles team right now is getting real crazy. I think I have the answer, by the way, to which quarterback has played the most games in London. I think I've had. Let me look here. Player starts. It's kind of funny. Some of those guys that have actually played the most there. Let's see if I can find the most quarterback starts. But let's find the next line here. Before we do, don't forget, download the BettingPros app. Use the tools here, prop bet cheat sheets out there for you, all these early lines we're talking about, and the betting systems are out there too. So if you're struggling this year with your NFL betting, and I get it, it's tough out in those streets, betting systems can help you. You can download it for iOS, for Android. We're on all the systems there, and you can create your own betting systems to find winning trends or just follow the ones that are already profitable. And you get a 7-day free trial of the BettingPros Premium right now when you download the app and use that promo code JUICE. So go to bettingpros.com/apps, or just wherever you get your apps from. Use that promo code JUICE when you download the Betting Pros app and start betting smarter, not harder. Next up here, Las Vegas versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now look, this should be a big victory here for the Chiefs, coming off a huge win Sunday Night Football against the Lions in a contested game there. The Chiefs are now finding themselves in a spot where they are 3-3. They are in the driver's seat here to get back in that division race. Las Vegas Raiders have problems, and I think the Chiefs defense played very well, but 10 is the number here. -10 for the Kansas City Chiefs, plus 10.5 for Las Vegas, 45.5 for the over, 45.5 for the under, plus 490 for the Las Vegas Raiders here in this one. So, Andrew, when the Chiefs are double-digit favorites, does that make you feel confident or make you feel terrified?
Terrified. I think you're trying to back them from an against the spread perspective. I would take the Raiders here, especially with plus 10.5. You're getting the 10 in the hook. So I like the Raiders here. We know the Chiefs traditionally don't kill other teams. Usually they play in close games and end up winning in the end. Now the Raiders obviously have their problems like you alluded to, and the Chiefs are getting Rashee Rice back. So I think that's definitely a big boost for their offense. I like the Raiders here. And I also kind of like the over on the game total, 45.5 points. I think the Chiefs can obviously score offensively. Mahomes has been on fire over the last couple of weeks, and I think the Raiders can do maybe enough to push the Chiefs a little bit and get this over the game total. So maybe actually an over, something I like a little bit more than the Raiders with the points.
We should have known, Andrew. Tom Brady has played the most games at quarterback internationally. Why? Because he's played forever. That's why. So there you have it, everybody. By the way, he's also 4-0 in those international games because he's Tom Brady. All right, let's get to the next one on here. The New York Football Giants. They're feeling it. They're feeling themselves. They're going to be big underdogs going against the Denver Broncos. Offensively, offensively, the Broncos are nothing to write home about right now. Like they just continue to look like they're struggling. Luckily, they played the Jets last week, but they are 7-point favorites at home. The Giants 7.5 is the number you're getting plus side there. Over 39.5, under 41.5, plus 303 on the money line for the New York Giants with an upset. Look, they didn't look good in that first road start for Jackson Dart. This is going to be a very tough one against that defense. So I kind of want to lean towards the under in this game, Andrew. How about you?
I think the under's probably in play. The Broncos defense is really good against quarterback scrambles. Like that's one of the reasons why they were so effective against Justin Fields in London. Yeah. So I think they're going to be ready for Jackson Dart to take off and scramble. They're going to be ready for it. And I still like the trends of betting against rookie quarterbacks making their starts on the road early in the year. The first couple of starts. Again, Jackson Dart is 2-1 against the spread. His 2 covers are both at home. The one that he's not was on the road against the Saints. So I think that matters. He was turning the ball over a lot in the first road game they played. Playing at Denver, I think, is also an equally very tough place to play, just like playing on the road against the New Orleans Saints. So I actually like Broncos here, kind of bouncing back. I know, obviously, the offense did not look great in London. London games can get kind of weird. Denver back at home against a defense that cannot stop the run. Like that was one of the biggest things. The Jets defense did a really good job of stopping Denver from running the football. You can't run the football. That makes Bo Nix a little bit more one-dimensional, less play action. I think they'll be able to run the ball against the New York Giants. That should help set up things easier for Bo Nix with their playmakers. So I actually like Denver here against a rookie quarterback on the road.
these are two teams that want to run the football though too, which is why I think as they kind of have these plodding drives and things like that potentially, that's why I also think the under with the pace of this game might also come in. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts, man. They're feeling it. 5-1 right now. The Los Angeles Chargers with a big win, 4-2. Chargers at home, 1 point favorites. You're getting +1.5 for the Indianapolis Colts, 48 for the over, 48.5 for the under. Even money on the money line for the Colts, -109. I got to tell you, I feel like this is a great spot here for the Colts to really test how good they are. And I think they're going to pass. I like the Colts in this game.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely the statement game for Indianapolis because past Indianapolis teams under Shane Steichen, this would be the easy spot to fade them because they don't cover when they're underdog. Usually the market's pretty spot on with Shane Steichen. Hey, if he's an underdog, you bet against him. When he's a favorite, you want to bet on him. So I think I'm going to shy away from this for right now. I want to do a little bit more research into this game because you have to look at the Colts team differently with Daniel Jones than in past regimes with different quarterbacks where they've been holding him back. So, yeah, the Chargers too, they have so many injuries right now. It depends on, do they get any offensive linemen back? Is Quentin Johnson going to play? And I mean, when push comes to shove, I'm still taking Justin Herbert over Daniel Jones. So,
yep, that seems like a look. I understand all that logic there, but look, the Colts. I think it's Jonathan Taylor for me. Like that's the big difference maker. Jonathan Taylor and the way he's played this year, I think he's the best guy on that field right now. And I feel like you just keep giving the ball to him. Don't make Daniel Jones have to do too much there, but Daniel Jones take advantage. Tyler Warren's been fantastic. Chargers are still really banged up. And look, they struggled on the road last week to beat Miami. They did because Miami is Miami. But I think this is one where probably my favorite early value here is the Colts.
Also, I just quick question on this game. If this game is in Indianapolis, what's the spread?
I would say -2.5. That's what I would set it for.
Okay, because that's kind of having me lean a little bit more to the Colts because again, the Chargers are at home, but we all know like they don't really have home field advantage.
Exactly. So, even more to that point.
So to your point, like I think that you're kind of convincing me that like, hey, even if the Colts could lose by 1 point, and you still get Colts +1.5. Maybe that is really the side to be on, especially if it's like that easy. Like, if they're playing at home, then they would be favorites. So again, I like that kind of look at it.
All right, next up here, we'll see what the Commanders do tonight, but we saw what the Dallas Cowboys did, and they lost to the Carolina Panthers on the road.
Got Rico.
Boy, Rico Dowdle really took out his anger on the Cowboys.
Yeah, so, you hear him said after the game, he's like, they didn't buckle up.
I guess so. Like,
put on your seatbelt.
I don't get that, man. They use an undrafted free agent the Cowboys gave a career
they needed a running back, and they just let him walk after he had a monster career year, over 1,000 yards, and they're like, "No, see, we don't want you. We want."
Well, I think they were trying to get all the money they could to go sign Micah Parsons. I think,
and then they traded him anyway.
And then they traded him anyway. So, and then he beat them. And then he beat them anyway. So Dallas here +3. Washington Commanders -2.5. You're getting 53.5 for the over, 54.5 for the under. +130 for the Dallas Cowboys here on that side, -133 for the Washington Commanders. So you would think and hope that we're getting CeeDee Lamb back for this game. If we do, I think that is a big difference maker. The other big thing I think we got to talk about is that, they keep trying to play zone with a bunch of guys in the Dan Quinn defense that used to play man. And I understand zone theoretically is easier, but it's not if that's not what the roster's built for. And it's clear that, again, they're ass kicked every single time that they're out there. So until Schottenheimer decides to make a change here, I think it's more of the same. I mean, I want to just take the over because I don't know what you could set this where I would not like it, but I feel like it's not high enough.
54.
It is a 53.5 for the over. I'll take the over. I will. There we go.
It's worked up to this point. You just keep betting overs. And
just keep betting overs in every Cowboy game. It's just rare that it doesn't come through. But what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas is the worst run defense in the NFL if it's not the Miami Dolphins, and the Commanders lead the NFL in rushing. So I guess like that's maybe how this game doesn't go over. Is just Commanders play bully ball. They play ball control. They don't let Dak beat them. But to your point, okay,
but their defense isn't great. The Washington Commander defense isn't great.
And they're also going to be coming off a short week too. And they're on the road, and it's a divisional game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's probably maybe even like Dallas team total over. Because maybe the value
a little bit better. That's probably even better.
Because it's a little bit smaller. You don't go for the whole enchilada with the total, but you just take Dallas at home, bounce back spot offensively. They should get some offensive linemen back too, I think. They were missing some guys against Carolina. So Maybe Dallas to bounce back offensively. So maybe Dallas team total is the West Vader, because that's probably going to be around maybe like 23.5 points because they are underdogs. So maybe you get some value that way.
All right, let's see if there's any value for the Green Bay Packers and Arizona Cardinals. Arizona 7-point underdogs at home. -6.5 is the best number you're going to find on Green Bay. Over is 43.5, the under 44.5, plus 285 for the Cardinals on the money line. Andrew, do you see any early value in this contest?
I do not. I would be under the presumption that Kyler Murray's not going to play in this game. It's funny when they listed, or when Jonathan Gannon talked about Kyler Murray earlier in the week, he said that he was, they're taking it day by day. He said the same thing about Trey Benson, who then went on injured reserve a couple days later. So I don't think Murray's going to be getting back anytime soon. And you like what you saw from Jacoby Brissett, despite not having guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think it's probably just like the under for me, under 44.5. Again, I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. He has a concussion. He had a concussion last year, and the Cardinals have a bye week the following week. So it wouldn't make any sense for them to rush him back when they have a bye week coming up. So I think it would probably just be the under play for me. But if not, I'd probably go with Green Bay.
Yeah, I like the under for this one too. In fact, I think I might jump on the under now. This might be an early line good one because if Kyler Murray's out, you might see this one even kind of.
I don't think we're going to get any good news offensively for the Cardinals.
No, and look, Brissett did everything he could. I don't want to take anything away from what he did. Wasn't he the number one fantasy QB yesterday?
That's crazy.
Oh, God. All right, let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. Again, we're waiting on how they perform Monday Night Football, but they're going to be traveling to San Francisco to play whatever's left of the 49ers. Fred Warner is out for the year now. We'll see if Purdy plays, but the 49ers are still 3-point favorites. You get plus 3.5 for the Atlanta Falcons, 44.5 for the over, 45.5 for the under, plus 154 on the money line for the Falcons. Your thoughts on this contest here? Because I think there's like this dangerous side here where you go, oh man, the 49ers are falling apart. And honestly, maybe, but at the same time, you could get Kittle back for this one. You could get Pearsall back. And if you do, I kind of like 49ers with the -3 right now.
Well, I guess the line to me doesn't suggest that the 49ers are falling apart. I mean, they're 3.5 point favorites at home. So to me, when you just look at the lines, you're like, okay, like this seems right.
And it's Sunday Night Football too.
So I think I actually like the Falcons. If I can get plus 3.5 with the Falcons, that's the spot I like. The 49ers traditionally have been, this is one of the trends. There's a really bad team to bet on as a home favorite. Like they don't usually cover now these spreads are usually much larger because it's usually the Kyle Shanahan Death Star. And now the Death Star is kind of going under maintenance. So there's some concerns there, but I think this spread is enough where I like the Falcons, but if it moved to closer to like 49ers -2.5, I would probably just stay away.
All right, we got 2 Monday Night Football games yet again. Tampa Bay 5-1, Detroit Lions now 4-2. Plus 5.5 for Baker Mayfield on the road. We don't know what he's going to be working with, but it doesn't matter.
Trust the process.
Minus 5.5 for the Lions. We got over 53, under 53.5, plus 210 on the money line for Tampa. I'll take the points of Baker Mayfield because he always finds a way. I'm just going to keep doing it and keep plugging it along. How about you?
Yes, definitely going to back the Buccaneers with the points. Don't care if they're playing in Mars. I don't care who the receivers are. It doesn't matter.
I like the over as well.
So yes, over Ford Field. That's what we bet every single time. And the Buccaneers, and those are kind of correlated. Where if this game is a shootout, then you're expecting the Buccaneers to be doing their part and putting up points. Don't know who's going to do it. Don't know who the Buccaneers are going to have offensively, but Baker Mayfield's going to find a way to get it done because as bad as the Buccaneers are offensively with their weapons, the Lions might be even worse when it comes to their secondary weapons, which is a good point that you made when we were talking a little bit before Baker Mayfield MVP tickets, yada, yada, yada. I think that this is a good spot to continue to back Baker Mayfield. And
they're playing with a high confidence level right now. And it's a huge game because if you go beat the Lions, right, you are really in control here for that potential bye week in the playoffs.
And I'm pretty sure
you'll be the 1 seed.
I'm pretty sure Baker Mayfield has gone into Detroit and won before with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, last year, yes. I want to say.
It was either last year or 2 years ago, but he's done it before, so this isn't a situation where, nothing phases this guy.
Anything.
So,
anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got no receivers, that's fine. Whatever. I'll just throw to Kate Otten 1,000 times.
Tez Johnson. Did you hear the thing about Tez Johnson? How when they were chanting MVP.
They were chanting MVP at him. Oh, you kind soul. Bless him. Bless you, Tez Johnson. All right, last one here. Monday night, late night. Seattle at home. 4-2 taking on the Houston Texans, who are coming off their bye. +3 here for the Texans, -2.5 for Seattle. 42.5 for the under, 41.5 for the over. +141 on the money line for the Texans. -150 for Seattle. I like Seattle in this game. I don't think they're getting enough credit. Sam Darnold's been good. JSN's really good. Defense is pretty solid. Houston Texans offensive line is trash. I'll take the 2.5 with Seattle. How about you, Erickson?
I'm going to bet the under in this game because there's about a 0% chance I stay up this late to watch this game. And I'm just going to bet against the Texans not fixing their offense over their bye week. And Seattle's defense, I think, is legit. They're playing at home. So assuming Seattle can get some of their corners back, I know they had some injuries. I think this is going to be a lower scoring affair. So I will take the under. Again, the Texans defense also is no joke. And they're going to throw everything to try to stop JSN. I mean, they have one of the top tier corners in Derek Stingley again. So maybe they can slow down JSN a little bit. I am kind of interested to see if an offense or what Sam Darnold will actually look like if a team can limit JSN, because they just don't. A lot of the other weapons they have on the team, like Troy Horton's popped up here and there.
Hey, Cooper Kupp just had his first touchdown of the year. I mean, come on, we're back, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Your goal as a team facing the Seahawks should be, can we get Cooper Kupp to 10 targets? Because if that happens, we're probably going to win this game. So.
There you have it. All right. So that is week 7, the early look ahead line. Don't forget to download the BettingPros app, and you can follow us as well on there. Andrew Erickson and Joe Pisapia, as well as anybody here over at BettingPros. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, and ring the bell to let those ding so you never miss a piece of content here on the channel. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.